Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. It's Saturday. It's Saturday. I'm Portia Wheatley. I am the founder and the president of a nonprofit organization acknowledged as Trophy of Life Incorporated, where we have the great pleasure to render hope, encouragement, and inspiration. I'm going to turn things over to our co-host, Takira Swan.
Hello. Happy Saturday. And like she said, today we dedicate this day to the voice of the next generation. So that will be our millennials, our Gen Z, anybody that comes under that. All the youngins. But no, so today we have a video to show you guys. But before we get started, once again, I just want to remind you to go to our YouTube page, like, share, and subscribe, especially share. When you do that, you help bring hope, encouragement, and inspiration across the entire world. And that's what we're here to do. Just give a little joy and hope, encouragement, inspiration to brighten up somebody's day. So let's get started with this video we have to show you. I hope you enjoy it.
Yes.
So I'm 17 years old, and what I want to talk to you guys about today is the idea of self-confidence. And now you might be thinking, wait, hold on a second. Teenagers aren't supposed to have that. And you're right, many of us don't, even adults. But what I want to share with you today is how I developed self-confidence in the midst of being a teenager and the obstacles I overcame. But first, I want to share with you my story. I was born into a Canadian home with two adopted brothers and both my parents. In my early childhood years, there was a lot of strife in my home and between my parents. They often fought against each other and ended up getting divorced when I was 4 years old. Both my parents got remarried after this time, but as my older brothers and my baby sister and myself grew up, there was still a lot of strife in our house. My brothers often fought with my mother. There's a lot of issues between drugs, drug dealing, and other problems throughout their school. I became a very closed-off individual with a lot of insecurities. 10 years after my mom and stepdad's wedding, my stepdad was diagnosed with stage 4 inoperable brain cancer. He had 2 tumors the size of fists in his head, and the radiation treatment suggested by the doctors posed a major risk of further brain damage. My stepdad, Greg, ended up passing away this last January, 6 months after his diagnosis. So why do I share with you my story? And what has it got to do with self-confidence? Well, know that I don't tell you my story as a means of a pity party. I don't need that. It's simply my story. But what I want to share with you is how I developed self-confidence in the midst of my life and through my turmoil. It was in middle school when I was the most insecure of myself, and just my image consumed me. I was obsessed with my popularity and likability. I was determined to build up my confidence off of what other people thought of me. The irony in it was that it was completely false. But when I was 14, I had an epiphany of the obstacle I had created in front of me and how I could change it. And that's what I want to share with you today, the 5 steps I took to develop self-confidence. So what does it look like to be confident? Well, first, find yourself. And this looks differently for a lot of different people, but it's a critical aspect in developing any sort of confidence for yourself. After all, how can you place confidence in you if you don't know who you truly are? So spend time alone in thought. Figure out what it is that you like and dislike. What is it that you're passionate about? What do you want to do? And discover your talents. And yes, you have talents. Don't say that you don't. You simply need to find them if you haven't done that already. And this looks differently for different people. For myself, I found my talents in the midst of our school's musical. It was The Wizard of Oz. I was super hesitant of trying out for it at first, but I ended up auditioning and landed one of the lead roles as Tin Man. Then I went and sang and danced on a stage, and he was super manly, but the thing that it did was it planted a seed of confidence in me that showed me that I was good at something and that I could do something. You need to find yourself as well because you need to stay true to yourself. Figure out what it is that you will accept as right and wrong, and establish the barriers around you of what you will do and what you won't do. I remember sneaking out to a party when I was younger, and this is one of those parties that you don't really want your parents to find out. Hi, Mom. And because there's a ton of drugs and alcohol there that I really could have gotten involved with, and I didn't possess the self-confidence that I needed to establish the barriers around me of what I would and wouldn't do. And now, I never got involved with anything there. Well, I actually got busted for it at like 11 o'clock at night, walking down the street with my mom pulling over in a minivan and laying down on the horn in front of me and a big group of people. And it was super embarrassing. But the point is that you need to stay true to yourself. So, above all this though, develop a self-respect for you. And don't be so harsh on yourself of the expectations that you lie out in front of you. So what next? Well, don't care what other people think of you. And this is by far one of the hardest aspects to actually fulfill. And now, note that this isn't apathy. This isn't the same as not having any regards for anyone's thoughts. I'm also not saying that you should go out in public without any clothes on because you really don't care what people think of you, but because there's always a balance and a certain quality as to how much we think or care about what other people think of us. But there is a balance. So imagine, if you're running a race around a track, would you stop in the middle of that track and in the middle of the race because of what some person said about you on the sidelines? No, because they're not running your race. The funny thing is, we often think more about what other people are thinking of us or what we perceive others to think of us than what other people are actually thinking of us. You need to know as well that your story doesn't define you. My story doesn't define me. My past is my past, but it does not determine my future. Have you guys ever heard of these so-called beauty magazines like Elle or Men's Fitness, Women's World, Women's Fitness, Cosmopolitan? The funny thing about these magazines is that they're much less beauty magazines and a lot more like product catalogs. So if you take a look at this picture, this is an Elle magazine where the top is the regular magazine and the bottom is the same magazine with all the ads taken out of it. This is another picture with a Cosmopolitan magazine. And what these magazines do is they intentionally get you to feel worse about yourself so that you will buy their products. And it's how they make their money. The damaging aspect of this is that these magazines are chock full of images with unrealistic body sizes. Their models are doused with professional makeup, and all their pictures are photoshopped. There's even been some magazines to have been admitting to using computer-generated images. Now, why would that be a standard we would want to compare ourselves to? Can I be real with you guys for a sec? Can I just talk real? You're beautiful. And I mean that. I don't mean that in the cheesy motivational speaker way where I'm up here and it's like, oh, you're beautiful, you need to feel better about yourself. But you are beautiful, whether you feel it or not. And the truth is that you're not beautiful in the eyes of society. And barely anyone is. Because society's standards are unrealistic and often unattainable. See, society judges beauty on the shallowest aspect of what beauty encompasses, where it almost solely focuses on good looks, which in itself is so unvaluable. Because if you think about it, looks and appearances are fading features for all us humans as we age. And you need to know that your beauty goes beyond the roundness of your face, or the clearness of your skin, or your body size, or the muscles that you have. It simply makes up the shallowest aspect of your beauty. So what next? Well, surround yourself with encouragement. You need to know that everything you surround yourself with is a possible influence to you. Everything. So assess your friends, your coworkers, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your spouse. Are the people around you creating an environment where you can feel confident and good about yourself? Do the people around you speak positivity into your life? And should you be associating yourself with those people? No matter how you answered any of those difficult questions, know this, that whoever you surround yourself with is who you will become. And, I had to ask these same questions when I was developing self-confidence, these same difficult questions about the friends that I had. And it's difficult. But there is power in the tongue to speak life or to speak death, but it's your choice of what you listen to. So the next thing, self-assess your attitude. You will always be your greatest obstacle. You always will. You are the captain of your ship, and you determine which direction your life is headed. And I think back of who I was and what I did, and the opportunities that I threw out the window while I was insecure, and the obstacles that I willingly placed in front of me. And I had to assess my attitude and the regrets that I had, and had to pull off the chains that I had hanging around my neck. So evaluate yourself. What negative thoughts do you have of yourself, and especially of others? See, this comes in many different ways, but often it can come in the form of unforgiveness. And the funny thing about unforgiveness is this: your unforgiveness will burden you more than it burdens the person who you're not willing to forgive. So what chains do you have attached around your ankles that you're not willing to let go of? You also need to believe in yourself. Wait, hold on, let me say it again. You need to believe in yourself. You have the power to do whatever it is that you set your mind to. And it is only you who can determine the path that your life will take. And finally, ask yourself this question: are you creating an environment where your friends can feel confident and good about themselves? Are you speaking positivity and life into other people's lives? After all, encouragement breeds encouragement. Again, there is power in the tongue to speak life or to speak death. What do you choose to speak? And the last point is be humble. And this is a step which is to not be forgotten. It's also the step which is extremely difficult to maintain, something that I struggle with all the time, where I have to continually strive to humble myself. But what it really comes down to is this: self-confidence that is rooted in other people's opinions and beliefs is much less self-confidence and more insecurity. And you're right back to where you started. And believe me, I know, pride always comes before a fall. So what's the point? Why? Why try and follow these 5 steps? Well, what I've found is that self-confidence is the single most impactful quality that can open up more opportunities, more happiness, and more successes than any other personality aspect in life. And the way that I found self-confidence for myself was by finding myself. I stopped caring what other people thought of me. I surrounded myself with encouragement, self-assessed my attitude, and continually strive to be humble. But if there's anything that I want you to take away from this today, it's this: the crippling pressures that we face in our society on a daily basis leave us in a state of stress and unacceptance, where we can no longer appreciate, see, or believe the capability in ourselves. There's no magic button to confidence. And even I can't guarantee that the steps that I've described here can undoubtedly bring you self-confidence, but they can sure help if you choose to utilize them. Now, imagine this: you're ready, you're prepared, you are skilled, and you have endurance. Your greatest fears are behind you, and your challenges ahead are ambitious. There's one thing that's different. You are no longer your greatest obstacle, but rather your greatest asset. Now, go make that a reality. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. What do you think, Miss Portia? I love it. You gotta unmute yourself.
Very good and very inspiring. And I said adults need inspiration. Adults need to be encouraged. And if we can take this information, wait a minute. Can you hear that?
No, I
Okay.
just hear you.
Okay, we're back. You hear it? Okay, good, 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 good. I'm doing some things going on with the screen anyway, but I was saying that adults need encouragement. God knows our youth need encouragement. I just jotted down a couple of things that some of the obstacles that young people go through today. I mean, it's so different than when I went through them, and some of them are different than I never even experienced them at all. But they have the peer pressure. Think about the suicide rate that's going on today, all of the street violence. Yeah, they have family issues, finding out who they are, and with this pandemic, the alienation of social distancing. It's so much that they have to go through, and their realization as to how to handle it is different than the adults, the way they handle it. So we have to really give our young people, be more understanding of the way they come to a conclusion of something, because they're not fully mature, so they don't think things through as much as adults do, and rightfully so, because we have a few years on them. But I enjoy that myself, and I look for young people to learn from the adults, the positive part that you can share with an adult. So it was good. I enjoyed it.
Now, one thing I really like that you just said was, learn from the adults. So to all my young people out there, no matter how old you are, I just want you to know, because I've learned this myself growing up, okay? I know when you're going through some of those things that Miss Portia just said that, young people go through, it can seem so overwhelming, and it can just seem like, that issue that you're going through is just all you can see at the moment. But I really want to encourage you to pull on someone that you trust, someone that's safe, an adult, because nothing is new under the sun. That's what they say. That means anything that you've gone through, someone who's older than you has gone through that and they've overcome it. Now, it can be a little bit more intense because as the world, gets older and older, the Bible even says the world gets more wicked, as time goes on. So it does not mean that, they may know exactly, they have been exactly in that same position, but they have felt exactly how you have felt. They have had that low self-esteem. They've had family issues. They felt alienated. They haven't gone through a COVID-19 pandemic when they were growing up, but you've had to, I can't find anyone that I can come in contact with that has not felt alone or alienated at some point. So I just want to encourage people to pull on those who have more wisdom and just hear them out. I'm not saying you have to do exactly what they're telling you to do, or, but just hear them out and see what they have to say. Have an open mind and an open heart, because it really can help. And another thing I really like that he said in that video, first of all, that video was awesome. I need everyone to share that, whether you are a young person or you're a little older or a seasoned saint. Share that video, because he said a lot of good points. And, when you're young and you battle with low self-image and low self-esteem, if you don't get that in line when you're younger, it just carries on to your adulthood. And those same issues that you had, you can sweep them under the rug, but eventually they come back up because you haven't dealt with them yet. So that's why we just want you to share this with everyone. The not caring about what people think, oh, that's such a big one. And, like he said, you're not, just, oh, I don't care about anything, but you don't want to care about what someone thinks so much to the point where it stops you in your tracks of who you're supposed to be and where you're supposed to go. Like he said, that person's not running your race. You are running your race. And who are they to tell you how to run your life? And also, I'm telling you, when you make mistakes, it can seem so overwhelming, but everyone has made a mistake. So don't let that, that mistake that you made define you and overwhelm you to the point where, you feel like you need to take your own life. You feel like, oh, I can't get out of this. I don't know what to do. There are people out here that can help you. We can help you. We have resources, that we have people that will volunteer their time and to just talk to you and to see what you're going through, because that really can be, a big negative factor in your life that does not have to be there. Also, he talked about speaking life. Now, I just need everyone to realize, okay, so we are believers, yes, but we have people who, all over the world, and people who have different backgrounds, religions. And we always say there's power in the tongue, life and death, Now that young man, he didn't proclaim to be a believer, but I'm telling you, everyone, all it's true, it's truth. Like everyone all over the world knows that you have to speak positivity in your life. What you say out of your mouth, what you think, that's what you become. And that's where self-confidence and that self-positive image starts. If you don't think the best about yourself, you know what? Keep speaking those things. Speak positively about yourself. You are amazing. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not. You are. And that whole, the self-image thing you talked about with the magazines and society. Let me tell you, society will tell you you're beautiful one day, you're ugly the next. People are so fickle. Don't listen to them. No, the way you are, the beautiful person that you are inside and out, that does not change. And it doesn't change just because someone defines like, oh, well, I don't think I like your nose. No, my nose is beautiful. It's the same nose I've always had. Deal with it. It's my face. You got to look at it, and if they have a problem with it, young people will be like, well, you know what? Thank God that's not your face. That's not your nose. It's not your hair. No, believe in yourself. You are who you are. And lastly, two more things. He said encouragement breeds encouragement. That is so, so important. And that's why we are here. Project 365, encouragement and positivity is so contagious. And if you just try to grasp it just for one little second, I'm telling you, your life will change. And the circle that you're with, you can be that person that changes that circle. If you don't want to drop them off, you can't leave them right now, that's fine. You be the positive ray of sunshine that helps other people to see that life is beautiful, that they are beautiful. And then lastly, I just want to say something that I have learned growing up about self-confidence and positive self-image. Let me tell you something, especially those of you who are young and or even a little older who want to go to college and get your degree and do all these things. Self-confidence and positive self-image will take you much further than any degree can take you, because you can have all the degrees in the world. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in what you know, what you learn, what you can do, you're not going to get those wonderful opportunities that you deserve. But even if you don't have a degree, I have so many friends and I know of so many people who don't have, the norm of what the society says you should have, but they believe in themselves. Like, you know what? I can do this. And since I believe in myself, you got to believe in me too. And people will drink your Kool-Aid. I'm telling you, they drink the Kool-Aid. They're like, you know what? Takira knows what she's talking about. She's so confident. That's all you have to do is believe in yourself. And when you really, really believe in yourself and you know that you can do anything, I'm telling you, the possibilities of what your life can be are endless. So I just want to leave you with that. Just give it a try. If you're suffering with low self-esteem or low positive self-image, or you care what people think, you're a little down, just try it for a couple days. Just speak some positive words into your life. And just look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? I am beautiful. And who is anyone to say anything otherwise? So.
Beautiful. I love, love, love it. I love it. It's amazing that what God has placed in you, Takira, to help generations now. It's all God. We don't take credit to ourselves, but we're grateful to God what He's placed in us. I'm one generation, Takira's another generation, and then there are other generations that we still support and encourage. And you never know, on Project 365, you never know what we're going to bring to you, but just know it will be messages of hope, encouragement, and inspiration for children, for kids, for teenagers, for young adults, for senior citizens, for men, for women, for the Black, for the white, for Asian, for whatever culture. It's coming. If we haven't tapped into it yet, you're a part of our team. Let us know what you want to hear, as well as if you have a story or some type of inspiration to share with our audience. Let us know. info@trophyoflife.org. info@trophyoflife.org, because we are a team and we work together. And this message goes across the whole wide world and out of the country. So we are some kind of grateful that God has trusted us with this assignment. So anything else, Takira, or can you close us out? I know that you can.
So we just want to thank you for tuning in with us today. Like she said, share this video with everyone you know, and make sure you come back with us tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to see what else we have in store for you. We'll see you later.